typically it's Cinderella, Anna, Elsa, it's everybody else. And I'm just like, hello.
Hi.
And so those two little girls made my day. Usually it's the moms that are like, oh crap, it's fairy godmother. I need to talk to you. I didn't do it.
I didn't give that to you last time, sorry.
Oh, thank you very much.
Did you walked Saturday, right?
Oh, yeah. Just the airport. Where else did we walk? We walked everywhere Saturday. We walked a lot of
Over
places.
8,000 steps.
Yeah, we did over 8,000.
Good deal.
So yeah, did you get another notice this afternoon? So
Yes, I did.
you're welcome.
Uh,
I don't think we're gonna make the top three though.
We're the top four.
We're number 4.
That is,
We're getting closer, but I don't think we're gonna make the top 3.
we.
I'm surprised
we
we're number
took
4.
part, and, in a way, we got the ball rolling and everybody else followed.
True.
Well,
So,
that puts you over 14, right? I mean, 13.
Yeah, well, we're at 250 came in today.
Oh, so we're
So,
pushing 2.
and then so we'll be, let's see, they're at 6. If they stop fundraising, then we might have a shot to jump up over Atlanta.
we are,
If they keep going, we're not gonna make it.
they continue until the end of May.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, I said. I don't know that we'll get any more.
All I care about is A, we took part, and B, we were pretty much, we were almost, at the top of the pyramid to get it started, and you need somebody to get it started, and everybody else followed the parade. So,
Look, for such a small chapter, that was a respectable.
Well,
position.
considering we're up there with Atlanta, and I don't remember who's in number 1. Was it Waycross? I don't have to look again. The 1 and 2 teams, they were both big clubs. So, and Atlanta's really big. So I'm like, okay, I'm feeling it. I wouldn't mind a respectable 4th, but 3rd would be better. I'm not competitive at all.
It does, has a way of, it's a nice thing, because when I was in Woodbine, we were always pushing for number 1 for the camp.
Mhm.
right.
Of course, we were closer than most of the other clubs too.
True, I get that. So
When's the next work day?
This
coming up.
weekend.
This weekend.
it's coming up.
Well, I can't go. I've loaned my car out.
I'll be in Tallapoosa for the weekend.
Streetwise Georgia is looking for a warehouse manager.
It's been that way for a while.
Wasn't there?
They hired one. It's a paid position. They hired one, but I think it's just part-time hours. But he lasted about 3 days and said, hey, I can't do this. Because it's more labor than management.
That would explain.
So they're still looking.
Because wasn't there a lady running the warehouse for a while?
Yeah, she did a fantastic job, and
Tom, would you hand me a?
she had a 1-year contract.
Sure. Sorry. If I had one down there.
She and her husband enjoy the outdoors, and they like to go camping and
Sure.
take extended vacations. And I guess her
Hard
husband,
to do when.
she had to work. It was a mobile Saturday. She was required to work. And then,
Yeah.
the 3-day job got to be 4, and then the 5 days without pay. 2 days without pay. So her husband didn't.
Yeah, well,
Would not get compensated for it.
I totally get that.
Yep. She was marvelous.
Oh, like I said, I've met her a couple times and she's so
Yeah.
nice.
Miss Becky is a young lady. She could go to Amazon and make 6-figure salary easy over there. Sure.
Any of the colleges do supply chain logistics?
Georgia State. I would think.
I say I was thinking, the ones up here did it maybe
Mm.
get,
Or more in the industrial engineering area.
Captain, I've never been so overwhelmed as trying to talk with Elaine Lasco today.
Dixon Golf.
Yes,
She's a lovely lady, isn't she?
she's wonderful, but I mean, I'm sitting here thinking, I obviously did not pay enough attention to what Catherine was doing last year.
See, I wasn't trying to insult you when I said you can't do this by yourself. A lot went on.
It's, so anyway,
She's pretty awesome.
did you work with her last year? or-
No, she's new. I don't, and I forgot to ask her if the same gentleman would be coming back out, because he lives like around the corner from Appalachia. Can't think of his name all of a sudden. It's escaped me, but no, she's new to the team. She's only been there a short time. But, yeah,
We could have done everything through it, it seems like.
to a point, yeah, it's just a matter of price. Because, but the Aurelius challenge is totally worth it. You know, the games they're willing to bring out at no cost to us, that's fine. Like I said, what they're wanting to do, what their big agenda is to have you buy the golfer bags, the goodie bags,
Right.
because they can put them together, you know, and you, oh, just get a sponsor for $5,000. I'm like, honey, if I had a sponsor for $5,000, you know, we wouldn't be having this conversation. I'd be over the moon. So what packages they have are for what you're getting, they're reasonably priced. The problem is that for us to cover that cost is ridiculous. Not when we're going out and asking our vendors to donate.
Right.
So that's not an expenditure for us. So,
Program tonight?
Yes,
that's where as I told the girl last year, I said, that's the problem I have, is I don't have a sponsor. I'm lucky to get lunch,
I put it on the agenda.
that kind of thing. But,
It's supposed to be there.
that's, the only thing that, when she called me and I referred her to you, the only thing that I want to make sure I share with you is that my personal feeling, and again, it's up to the committee, that my personal feeling is that we should not invite Rockstar Golf again.
Okay. That's Rocky.
That's Rocky. 2 years in a row, we have advertised that that man is showing up and he doesn't. He sends Jason, who is a very nice man. He does a great job. But we've spent months promoting to have Rocky there, and then Rocky no shows. And then last year, the other guy didn't even do the pre-tournament stuff that he was supposed to. After we had to go through that crazy to get a space for him to do it after, you know, and pitched a fit about not being able to use the driving range. And then we didn't need it, which I'm sure they were thrilled, but still, that was a fight that shouldn't have never had
How
happened.
much did we get from them?
He brought in, it was less this year, and I think it was because because Dixon was on hole number one. Like some of those guys were wanting those prizes as opposed to what Dixon, but I'd have to go back and look at my notes. But like the first year he came out, he gave us like $1,200. And this last year, I don't think it was nearly that. And Dixon netted like 450, some like 450, 475 from the Aurelius. But again, I think a lot of that is, as I explained to Elaine, was that we have half the field, those guys are just happy to be there. You know, they've scrounged some extra money to buy raffle tickets and some mulligans to feel like they're contributing. I said, they don't have hundreds of dollars to bet
Right.
on their golf game. So that's the hard part. You know, I said, we're not bringing in, you know, the big corporate golfers. I said, you know, they were all at the Gladiators tournament.
Tom,
Yes, sir.
the agenda is missing the program on it.
Sure is. He's supposed to be here. You know, I should have caught that. I'm sorry, guys. Let's see.
Well, it is 7 o'clock, so, we can get started and, plan.
Okay.
Welcome everyone to the second meeting of April for the Lawrenceville Lions Club. Good to see y'all here, and we'll have others trickling in, including our program this evening. Before we do anything else, I would like to invite Lion Tom to lead us in the pledge, and Lion Catherine to lead us in an invocation.
And for Pete to be our flagpole.
Yes.
I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Play ball.
Heavenly Father, we thank you so much for this beautiful day. We thank you for the opportunity that we have to gather together as friends and as Lions. We ask safe travels for our speaker. We ask for your mercies for those that could not be with us here tonight. Watch over us as we try to continue to serve this community in the best way possible. All this we ask in Christ's name. Amen.
Amen.
Right.
I'd like to ask, if you don't mind, I'd like to ask and include your prayers for past District Governor Kathy Williams. She's down in N, and I can't think of the club she's in right now. Brian may remember. She's had a kidney stone, and she's in the hospital down in Florida. And when I got an email this morning, they got her on like 4 IVs and some other meds and trying to get that thing flushed out of there. She felt better last night, but this morning went back down. So I haven't heard anything from her, but that could be pretty serious.
Very painful.
Oh, God, yeah.
Gosh.
No, wait, no.
Before we approve the agenda, I have 3 additional items to briefly add to new business. First is pertains to the Leo Club. The second pertains to the international president visiting next month at the Lighthouse. And the third pertains to the email that Pete sent, that Tom passed along about Vidalia onions. So other than that,
We also need to officially add to the agenda that we have a speaker.
yes,
Hopefully.
hopefully.
Lord willing, the creeks don't rise.
Sorry, guys. Forgot my camera.
Oh,
That phone would have gone right.
right.
How are you? They said they've been doing a project.
you doing?
Oh, yeah, I forgot all about that. That was great. Yeah, you can get me something. Well, people.
All right, for the record, Tom, I have noted that, we need to add the speaker to the agenda.
Okay.
And in new business, an item pertaining to Leo Club, and, the international president is visiting next month, and the email you passed along about my daily onions. And then I will take a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved.
All right, is there a second?
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion carries, and the agenda is approved. Lion Bill, our tail twister, what you got as a question this week?
Marty, as we're approaching quickly that very important day, I'm asking you, and we'll start with Brian. Star Trek or Star Wars?
Ooh, I'm definitely Star Wars. I have absolutely, nothing against Star Trek. I just haven't watched enough of it.
Oh, good.
Excellent. So yeah, I'm definitely a fan of Star Wars.
On the tail twister for the season, we're approaching that important day. So I was asking if you're Star Trek or Star Wars.
Let's start, Trek. Star Wars. I was supposed to say why.
Well, you can if you want.
It's about family.
Brian's also Star Wars.
I'm not a big fan of either one, but I've seemed like I've enjoyed the Star Wars movies fairly recently, but I'm not a big sci-fi person. Yeah. A little bit, both of them.
You say your dad watches it too much? Uh-huh. Can rat it out over there.
All right,
No,
we're getting real info from this side of the table.
people don't believe these people.
What, us or them?
Yeah.
Or neither.
It's-
All right, so I'm a Star Wars guy, because never could get into,
Hello.
could get into William
And
Shatner.
I'm Tom Arnett.
Hey, Tom.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. Sorry about the confusion.
It's okay.
Hello,
Where are
Hello,
you?
young,
young Martin. Yeah.
Brian Donner.
Hey, Brian.
Hey, Young, how
Hey,
you doing,
how
bud?
you doing, Pete?
Didn't bring the boss with you?
No. Couldn't make it today, unfortunately.
Okay.
But that's all right. We'll survive.
Is it up to me?
Yes.
I'm gonna have to go Star Wars.
Yeah, I would say the same. I mean, honestly, same exact answer. I'm not a sci-fi guy.
Yeah.
I find sci-fi boring, but I've seen a few Star Wars movies, so it's closer. I don't like them at all.
Well, after driving the Millennium Falcon, I have a lot of respect for Han Solo, so I'm just saying.
Now, I do like that show on Disney Plus, the
Mandalorian.
Mandalorian. I do like that.
Oh, yeah.
That's a pretty good show.
I love the actor that was the Mandalorian. You don't even see him.
There was one episode he did where
Where he was injured. Yeah.
Pete?
Repeat
Pete,
What is the question?
Which do you prefer, Star Trek or Star Wars?
Do I have to choose between one of them?
Yes.
That's the question.
I'm going to say neither, but I would say Star Trek probably, but I don't watch that much. I remember Star Trek was on TV, right?
Yes.
Yes.
I watched a little bit of it, but Star Wars.
Okay.
so I guess you don't celebrate May the 4th. then?
No.
Okay.
You don't celebrate May the 4th.
What?
May the 4th.
What the heck is May the 4th?
May the 4th be with you. It's from the movie.
Well, that's coming up.
Yeah, that's,
I think that's miles for everybody else. That's, we get we get.
Celebrate the next day.
Celebrate. the
Young,
next
you want to contribute to this?
It's a tough question, but I would have to go with Star Trek,
Okay.
just because they provided the foundation for everything else. If there wasn't Star Trek, there never would have been a Star Wars. Well,
Agree.
most probably would not have been a Star Wars. And Star Trek has had a lot more spin-offs and how it was
Absolutely.
filmed, and everything that Star Wars has.
Very logical.
And
Now,
Star
Star Wars
Trek-
in and of itself is a huge accomplishment.
Star Trek was on TV.
And they've had, I mean, Star Trek Discovery, Star Trek Enterprise, Star
Oh, yeah.
Trek The Next Generation, Deep Space Nine.
Now Picard.
Yeah, now
Season
Picard.
zone, So, yeah.
I mean, there's just, it's amazing what they've done. And I mean, Star Trek pushed the boundaries
Mhm.
by having a dark female being on the bridge crew. That was unheard of at the time. All thanks to Lucille Ball, of all people.
I was about to mention that.
Yeah,
If it wasn't for, Lucy,
yeah.
Star Trek wouldn't exist, and neither would, the Twilight Zone.
Right.
She is, the foremother of science fiction television.
Yep, that's what they say.
All right.
Well, thank you, everyone. Brian, I will turn the floor back over to you.
Thank you very much, Lion Bill. Appreciate it. Lion Tom, Secretary's report, and will there be a motion to prevent the reading of these minutes as usual?
Perfect. Make a motion that we dispense with the reading.
Second.
All right, all in favor of dispensing with the reading of the minutes, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Nay, I lose.
You got yourself on the record.
That's right. on the
Good
record.
good job.
And I can't say all approved now. I
Right.
usually say all approved.
This is a unique situation, but, as is per usual, the ayes have it above the nose, and the motion carries. Thank you, Lion Tom, for, everything that you're doing. And Lion Tom, would you like to introduce our wonderful speaker this evening?
Absolutely.
Fantastic.
Young Martin, everybody seen walk in the door, is a member of the Social Circle Lions Club. He joined Lions relatively new in March of 2020 and was elected president of the club in June. He must be a master politician. After being a member for 3 months.
Wow.
Actually, it's our next meeting.
I was gonna say that, or you can't say no, huh?
I can't say no.
He went to the restroom and is continuing in the office for a second year. Even though he was new to Lions, his first year was active, accepting the position of district IT co-chair and earning a Golden Chain Award. In that time, he has been involved with activities with his club, such as the USDA Food to Families program, dictionaries for third graders, multiple citywide cleanups for Social Circle, along with an ongoing partnership with the Social Circle Police Department in a yearly golf tournament. He is new to Lionism, but has been tagging along with his fiancee, PCC Vicky Hubbard, to events and state conventions for a couple of years before joining. Before he was officially a Lion, he attended ELI, Emerging Lions Leadership Institute, in the same class with the district governor. In addition to being president of the club, he is district IT chair for a second year and sits on the board of the Georgia Lions Camp as a district member at large director. Although he has not been in Lions for long, he has embraced the attitude of "we serve" wholeheartedly. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you young Martin.
Thank you for having me here tonight. As member at large, one of our duties is to go around to different clubs in our district and talk about the Lions camp. So that's what I'm here for. I'm still rather new to the whole deal. So if you have any questions or you see I'm missing something or something like that, please speak out. Because I don't know the material as well as I should maybe. Although I know it a lot better than I did at the beginning of the year. But anyway, it's the Georgia Lions Camp now instead of Georgia Lions Camp for the Blind. We dropped For the Blind last year, I think it is, in order to foster an attitude of inclusiveness. Because we're not just for the blind people, we're for visually impaired people. Visually impaired is a vision of 20/70 with correction. So you don't have to be blind to go, you just have to be don't see too well. And we thought Georgia Lions Camp for the visually impaired was a little bit too much of a mouthful. So they just cut it down to Georgia Lions Camp. Anyway, Georgia Lions Camp was essentially started in 1972 with the Okefenokee Club down in what's now District O and District N. The club ran a camp for visually impaired people and had a lot of success with it and thought this was something that the Lions should get involved with because vision is one of our core efforts. So in '74, at the time, District 18B brought the concept before the Council of Governors. And the Council of Governors made a committee that went to the state government to request if this could be done. I guess good for us. It was Jimmy Carter, who the year before has been president of his club. So he's been a long time Lion, and he managed to get the state to lease 62 acres next to Laura S. Walker State Park with a 99-year lease. Now, we don't know what's going to happen in 2073, but that's a few years off still, so we're not terribly concerned about that. But at the time that the Okefenokee Club did the camp, they figured there was about 12,000 visually impaired people in Georgia. And now they figure there's about 300,000 visually impaired people. So there's a lot of people that could take advantage of this camp. We're not getting them there.
Mm.
And it's a mixture of reasons. But anyway, the 62 acres we've got is about 10% of the size of Laura S. Walker State Park. That's 620 acres. So it's a rather large camp. And when we got it, there was effectively nothing there, just land. So the Lions have done a lot of building in there. We've got in 1980, they got a catfish pond put up. In 1983, they got a gazebo put in and a full-time director finally. In the years 84 to 89, we got a dining hall, a dormitory, and a 400-meter track. In 1996, we got an activity center put in by Flash Foods, donated the whole thing for us. So that was a great corporate contribution. In 1999, we got a maintenance building put up. And in 2000, we got a second dorm put in. Since then, we've had a swimming pool and arts and crafts buildings and stables that are built on the property. But we really haven't done much in the last 10 years or so. And I'm sure there's something that the camp needs. I have the joy of joining the long range planning committee next year, so I'll have a little bit better idea of what that is later on. But at this point, I know there's something we need to do. And we haven't built it. I mean, agreed, the Lions have shrunk significantly from the time the camp was started, but we can still support the camp. In last year, well, in 2020 with COVID, there was no camp sessions, which hurt. And then last year, there was only 3 sessions for a total of 27 campers. There were supposed to be 4 sessions, but the director got tested positive for COVID the Friday before a camp started. And so they spent all day Saturday calling up people saying, don't come. And luckily they were able to hold the other 3 camps that year. And of the 27 campers, 6 were from District 18-9. So we had a good representation. This year, they plan to do 5 weeks of camp, running from the last week of June all the way through the month of July. They're going to have a preteen camp for the ages 6 through 12, a teen camp for 13 to 17, a young adult camp, which is a big change in plans, of 18 to 34, and then a seniors camp for those 34 and over, 35 and over.
Cool.
This camp is not an educational camp. This camp is, not to say the right word, but entertainment. It's recreational.
Sure.
There's lots of organizations out there that provide education to these people, to the visually impaired, and they get it pushed down their throat a lot of times. We want to provide the campers an experience that they cannot get anywhere else, something that's unique. And that's where we're going. That's in the Constitution. We are a recreational camp. We are not an educational camp. Back to camp for a minute. They also have a Christmas camp that's a weekend camp from Friday through Sunday in December, and that's of all ages. They're also working on getting a family camp for ages 4 to 6. And the purpose of this camp is not so much for the campers, but for the family. To teach the family that their child can do a lot more than they've allowed it to do up to this point, to stretch the boundaries of the family. Let the children do things for themselves because they have a lot of capabilities. They have a lot of things they can do if they're given the opportunity. The Constitution says that we're for campers that are younger than secondary school or secondary school age or younger. So in theory, as soon as you start going to college, you age out of the camp. And this produced a lot of comments, almost grief about it, because the camp is old enough now that we've got a lot of people that have been to camp every single year and they've aged out, so they can't go anymore. It's like, well, I want to go again. I love the camp. But the big problem there is that adults have a completely different style of camp than the children do. Children will sit there and do what you tell them to do. They don't mind making crafts or doing bingo or whatever it is that they do, games and fun. Adults have different attitude and ideas of what they want to do. Sure, some want to go out and play beeper ball. Others just want to sit on the porch and talk.
Sure.
And so they spent the last year trying to figure out how they can structure a camp around the older campers. And they're starting this year with 2 weeks of camp, one for the young adults that are 18 to 34-year-old. I guess 34 is still young, kind of. And then another one for the seniors. So it'll be interesting to see how those camps go as July runs through. But it's just amazing watching these campers be able to do things that they never thought they could. I've heard one story about this camper that pretty much refused to climb the rock wall because it was something they were never done, something they were told they can't do. And the camper was finally talked into trying. And yeah, they only got about halfway up the wall before they'd had enough. But the attitude, the look on that person's face was just incredible. This was something that they had no idea that they could have done. This is something that was just brand new to them. And another thing that they like to do is the tandem bicycle ride. We put a counselor on front to steer and the camper on the back seat, and the camper can pedal a bicycle. Well, a bicycle is something they never thought they could. And here they are riding the bicycle, feeling the wind in their face. And it's just something. They've actually played around with a little bit with allowing the campers to drive one of the golf carts around. You put them in a field, you put a person next to them, ready to grab the steering wheel or something like that. The golf carts don't go real fast. And it's something that they of a car. Well, it's not really a car. Oh. And so that's the purpose of the camp, is to expand the boundaries of these people and just let them experience things, let them broaden their life, enhance their life experience. And they have a lot of activities they do. They've got a swimming pool that they use, and it's actually got ADA compliant a couple of years ago with the chairlift on it and everything. This last year, they got all their sidewalks widened because all the sidewalks were too narrow for some of the wheelchairs to go across. Okay. So they're working on finishing up their ADA compliance. They've got ramps to all the buildings. And so it's working real well. They do horseback riding, which is, again, something they never thought to do. They get up to touch a horse and actually pet it and then climb up on top of it and ride around. I'm sure somebody has the reins guiding the horse, or it's in this corral so the horse can't get anywhere. But here's a child or a camper being able to ride the horse around without somebody breathing down their neck. And it gives them something that they can do that they never thought about. They do spirit competitions, they do scavenger hunts, they have talent shows, they do arts and crafts. And it's amazing what they can do. We all need to keep into effect that the Lions need our help still. Lions Service Day has been lightly attended in the past couple of years. And yes, with COVID and all that, there's been reason, but they'd like to get some more people down there. And the next service day is this coming up weekend. A little short notice. But they've got plenty of projects they can do, and it's not difficult projects for everybody. Yeah, they've got a few that are hard, but they've got some like repairing picnic tables or painting benches or something like that. Something most everyone can do, because we need to take into account that for the most part, the median age of lions in Georgia has risen over the past few years. So we're working on trying to get that changed. They've now got RV hookups if you want to bring your RV down there for the camp, for even for Lion Service Day. They've got full service sewage and electricity and everything, RV hookups. This was really done for the Jasper Youth Mission. That every year Jasper Youth Mission comes to the camp and helps work on the camp. And they've been staying over at Lawrenceville State Park. And they said, well, look, if you let us park here, our RVs on your land, then we'll pay you the rental that the state park would have gotten. And that works out really good. This past year, the Jasper Youth Mission came down and built a pole barn for them. And the rental fee for the RV spots paid for all the materials for the pole barn. So effectively, the Jasper Youth Mission not only built the barn, they also gave us all the materials for it. But it doesn't look like that on their balance sheet, because they said, well, we had this for lodging and then we just did service. We worked for free. But no, it works out real great. We've got Lions Day coming up on July 23rd. The Lions are invited down to the camp to visit with the campers and to tour the grounds and whatnot. I went last year, and it's really an interesting situation. When I was there, the campers did a murder mystery skit for us. And this was a skit or a play that they developed themselves, they directed themselves, they acted it themselves. And these people never thought they'd have a chance to get up on stage and have people clap for them. And so that's just a life-changing experience for them. Again, the camp is there to offer things that they cannot get or typically will not get in other places. It's just a real nice thing. And then in October, we have the second Lion Service Day of the year, 21st to 23rd of October. They've got about 15 to 20 projects on the list. If you get the monthly newsletter they put out, one of the pages lists all the projects they've got coming up. The newsletter is just chock full of information. I think it's a little bit busy myself. It's 13 pages long. Yeah. And they have a lot of information in there. You got a letter from the camp director. They've got a letter from the chairman of the board and telling you what's coming up. And it's just interesting. But they're working on trying to expand the use of the camp. They've started talking with the Lions of Florida, because the Lions of Florida had a camp in northern Florida shut down a couple of years ago. So there's no place semi-local within a few hours for their campers to go. So we're working on promoting it with the Lions of Florida, trying to see if we can get some crossover campers, so to speak. But that's one things we can do is try and get campers out there, let people know about what's going on. If you've got anyone in the area that you know of or can find that's visually impaired, go ahead and sponsor them to be a camp member. The price for the camp is only $250. Now, sure, there's a big debate over what the cost of the camp is. And nobody really can say that, because how do you figure the cost? Is it just that week, or do you have to bundle in the 11 months where there's not anybody there and stuff like that? And do you throw capital expenditures in there or depreciate? Cost is a different matter. It costs a lot more than $250 to send a camper in there, but we want to make the camp something that's approachable and reasonable for the people to get to. And so the price of the camp is only $250 for a week. And that's a great option. And if you don't know anyone in the area, you can contact the camp and offer to sponsor somebody, and they'll find somebody to take the position. It works just great. But unfortunately, the Lions can't need your money. They live off the not live off of, but the donations from the Lions support them strongly. And so they've got a number of programs set up. One of the easiest is the 1976 Society. Named because 1976 was the first year that they ran the camp. And for $19.76 a month, a continuing contribution, you can make a donation to the camp. So, I mean, for those of you who are in PBS or PBA with their continuing contributions of $20 a month or something like that, this is exactly the same thing. They've also got what they call the Century Club. If you want to donate $100 or more on up, you can join the Century Club, and that's a yearly contribution. And the Century Club is focused on the Buildings and Grounds Fund. So that's where they get the new buildings from, or do maintenance on the existing buildings and everything. And then there's also the Brick Memorial Garden. This is a great opportunity. I mean, ever since the Olympics, you've seen these memorial bricks pop up everywhere. And yes, it's a little bit of overkill sometimes. But I think the neatest thing about this is that on Lions Day, you can select where your brick goes. You go to the Memorial Garden, find a blank brick and put your brick on top of it. And then later on, somebody will come up and pull up the blank brick and put your brick in its place. So it's not just some random collection or something like that. If your club buys a bunch of bricks, like more than one, you can make sure they're all clustered right together. And there's not any real reason why every club doesn't at least have a brick down there celebrating their club. I'm working with our club to get a brick for a social circle, but haven't brought it up at the right time yet. But I'm not going to give up. We're going to get it done. And the camp is a true 501c3 organization, so it's all tax deductible. Not like most Lions Club that are 501c4s, unfortunately. That's a different issue as well. For those of you that use Amazon, you can make the club as your Amazon Smile charity. So every time you buy something from Amazon, Amazon will contribute something to the camp. Now, it's not a whole lot, but I'm told it's about $1,000 a quarter. And so that's $4,000 that they never got before. I'm trying to work on getting what the actual numbers are, or what the last year was or something like that, but haven't quite gotten it out of the treasury yet. But I'll keep working on it to see if I can get some good numbers
Should
out
be
of
able
it.
to find them on Amazon.
Hmm.
Those records should be available through this Amazon Smile to see how
Right.
much has been donated per.
And they get to check in, but I don't know that you can look at it without, I don't know. That's a good thought. I'll look and
You
see.
should be able to see what's been contributed to different charities,
That's
Yeah.
a good point.
because they've got to be transparent.
I know, I've got LCI as my Amazon Smile, or LCIF. And I know every once a quarter, Amazon will send me an email saying how much they donated to my charity.
Mhm.
So maybe I should switch over to the club and get the number that way, or the camp and get the number that, but that's a different issue. But I know LCIF got $1,800 from Amazon last quarter.
Not bad.
And again, it's not a whole lot, but it's not peanuts. And every little bit helps. For those of you that do Kroger, I'm a Publix man myself, unfortunately, but those you do Kroger, you can have the Georgia Lions Camp as your charity on your Kroger Plus card. And so the ways that you can give to the camp without having to have the pain come out of your own pocket. And of course, they'll take checks and do PayPal off their website and everything. I mean, they'll take money anywhere you want. Another option is the camp rental. If your club wants to do a retreat, you can rent out the camp. Or if you know a corporate person, the corporate entity that wants to do a retreat, we'd love to rent to corporates. I mean, I don't know what the pricing is, and it all depends. I do know for Lions clubs, Lions get the use of the facilities for free. But that doesn't mean that it's a free week. You still got to pay for salaries and food and stuff like that. So, I mean, there'll be some charges to it, but it'll be reduced cost compared to other places if you want to do a retreat. Or if you want to go and do maintenance do work down there. You don't have to do it during line service day. You can find your own day, and the camp director will definitely work with you to schedule it and welcome you down and have a list of projects for you guys to do. And discuss the project before you get there so that you know what you're doing. That's about it in a nutshell. But we need to get more campers. We need to get the word out. One of the things they're doing right now is reaching out to local school districts to see if the school districts can send anybody our way. Well, with HIPAA and all, we can no longer ask the school district who are your visually impaired people. But we can tell them, hey, look, we've got this awesome program for visually impaired people. If you happen to have anyone that you want to mention it to, please do. They're working on that. I know they just revamped some of their advertising brochures and whatnot. I haven't seen the new ones yet, but it seems like they were in the district conventions with the brochures. Didn't get over to the table in time to see any of them. But it's one of the things that the Lions have done. The Lions and the Georgia Lighthouse Foundation and the Georgia Lions Camp are the two organizations that the Lions are supporting and have been supporting for years. And so we're coming up almost 50 years now that we've been supporting the Georgia Lions Camp. And so it's starting to get a little bit of a history, but our camper participation has gone down in the last few years. And we don't have any good reason why, except advertising, so to speak. We need to get the word out, and we need to tell people that it's available, and we need to get people down there. They run a bus from Macon. They go up to Macon to pick up people, so they don't have to go all the way down to Waycross if they don't want to. Coordinate with the ride and get them to Macon for those in North Georgia, and they get down. And if they get a number of campers that are in some other region, they'll gladly talk about having another transportation bus. I mean, the Macon one is just central to the state, and so they figured that's a good place to do it. It's been worthwhile over the past years to do that. They've looked about getting one up to Alpharetta, but there really hasn't been enough people there to make that worthwhile. But they'd love to be able to do that. So it's just, I mean, hate to say it, but it's money, money, money. And we're okay budget-wise, but we're not doing great. We don't have the money to spend on what we need to do. For example, I think the Chinese American Club donated a whole bunch of Alexa clocks to us this past year. We don't net internet anywhere except the activity center. So it doesn't do us any good other than being clocks. And well, the point is that they're voice clocks, so the visual impaired could use them easier. So one of the things I feel they desperately need is they desperately need a campus network. But that's going to be money.
Yeah, it's difficult where they are located.
Yeah.
It's more of a challenge of where, of the lack of availability, not the lack of funds.
Well, no, they've got internet.
Oh, yeah, they have internet, but it's, they're out in the middle of nowhere.
Right, but the internet they've got is through Comcast or something like that. I was down there, it's a good 74 megabits a second. I mean, in the activity center, the internet is just screaming, and it's just great, but it's not outside the activity center.
Right.
And so we need to get, and unfortunately, the buildings are a good distance apart, so they're much more than the 100 meters that copper will go. So we'll need to get fiber put to all the different buildings in the complex, and most probably have it bored because we don't want to have it on top of the ground and don't really want to have to dig trenches everywhere. But it's real easy to bore the fiber in, but again, it's cost money. and all the equipment and termination and network switches and all that. I'm a computer geek, so I've got a little bit of a clue what they need to do. And I'd be surprised if they could get it done for less than $20,000. But that would be a great addition to the camp, is to allow internet. And it also brings up some more concerns because now people are playing with their phones more often and stuff like that. But that's just something you can deal with the campers. That's a different issue. But it would be good to have that issue rather than, nope, we got these clocks sitting in the box that we can't do anything with. So anything you can do for the camp, we would love to have you help us with. Any questions, anything I missed, anything I need to talk some more about? Not really,
I
okay.
guess not. Thank you very much, Young. We very much appreciate your visit, and please, please give our regards to Vicky.
I will.
I definitely appreciate her.
Oh, yes, I do too.
Yes, absolutely.
She has helped me straighten out my life a whole lot.
Yes.
My wife passed away about 5 years ago, and I fell into a horrible depression when I didn't even think depression was a real thing. And it has taken me years to get out of it. And without Vicky, I don't know if I could have or not.
Yeah.
I've known her for years now, and it just turned my life around. She is the best thing that ever happened to me.
That's awesome.
I mean, even much better than my first wife. But
So thank you very much for your visit, Martin. We appreciate you and what you're doing for the camp.
Certainly. They broken ground yet on the new car factory?
Oh, Rivian. No. No, they're still fighting over it. Although I do think I saw the railroad people out doing surveys last week, the surveyors out. So I'm expecting that they're going to go forward. Well, they are going to go forward with it without any problem. There was a whole bunch of griping and everything about all the rezoning and all that. And the state came in and said, nope, no rezoning. It's all rezoned now. Go away. and all the rezoning signs came down and all the meetings and public comments and everything were just stopped.
Lost cause.
Yeah. And so, yeah, I expect them to be doing it. The next thing I expect to see is that they're getting their own interstate exit in an attempt to keep the traffic off the local roads.
Cool.
So, I mean, they're doing a big job about trying to keep the Rivian plant from impacting local area very hard. But they're claiming to be 7,500 jobs when they get done. One of the odd things is that they're taking out 3 roads because one of the existing roads runs right through the middle of their main manufacturing facility on the proposed layout they have. So I thought that was kind of odd that they're actually just yanking roads out. Nope, Davis Academy Road doesn't exist anymore or won't in another year.
They're building a battery plant too. Right?
Yes.
So that's 2,000 jobs. I would imagine 1,000 to 2,000 jobs.
Not sure. The whole complexes, they say, is 7,500.
Wow.
Yeah. And then across the interstate, we've got Facebook with a data center there. Facebook just announced that they're building a second data center with another 3 buildings, 3 5-story, 6-story buildings. And so there's a lot of people working there. And we've got what used to be Baxter, it's Takeda now or something like that, which is a drug manufacturer.
I'm sorry to interrupt this fascinating discussion.
Yes.
But we do have other things.
Oh,
that
right,
we
My
need to-
yeah,
bad.
that's not
I'm sorry, buddy.
Sorry, right.
I was trying to do that in the most polite way possible.
My
But
fault.
anyway, Young, if you'd like to, continue, you're most welcome to do so. If you do need to, hit the road and head back to Social Circle, that's okay too. We appreciate you coming and speaking on the camp tonight.
Certainly, I'd love to say, it's interesting seeing what other clubs have going on,
Excellent,
see how they do work.
wonderful.
I do
Since I'm
think,
president of my club, I need to know these things.
I do think if Tom got wore a pair of glasses, they could pass for brothers.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's the lighthouse, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Well, I got all those donations over there. We can find something in order.
There you go.
Yes. All right, so over this past weekend, the Lighthouse held its inaugural Strides for Sight and Sound. It was and has been nothing short of a success. Their goal was to raise 25,000. They are nearly at 40, so it has been an incredible effort in the first year of what they're doing. 22 clubs around the state have been involved, including clubs in every district. And we are in the top 5 of clubs raising and contributing. So that's pretty awesome. And they'll continue to raise funds until the end of May. So I see an outside shot of them getting to 50,000 before the whole shebang is over. So that's fantastic.
Brian, if you don't mind, did everybody get an email from the Lighthouse?
Yep.
We were number 4 in donations,
Yes,
$1,268.
Correction. $1,530 coming from the Lawrenceville Club. Thank you very much.
Very good. I'm just going by what the last,
Well, that was a couple hours ago.
yes.
It's gone up.
It's
since
gone up.
then.
we're still number 4 anyway.
Yes,
We're number 4.
we're number 4, which is great. Lion Pete, do you have a report on the Stripers game coming up?
Yes, we're still on for June the 4th. I got my first orders for tickets. Yesterday came in the mail, 2 tickets. And did you, I saw the deposit or whatever, is that for tickets from you? Somebody bought,
Online?
huh?
Are you talking about the online sale?
Yeah, I don't know what it comes in. I saw there was like $58 in there. Was that tickets that you bought?
There
Okay,
was 4 tickets.
4 tickets. So we got 6 tickets so far. I've got commitments from other people. Young, if you don't know about the ball game, any monies we collect is going to the camp. So I expect to see you and this past District Governor Vicky coming. So tell her to start writing checks for.
I'll see what we've got. We're just slammed these next couple of weeks, so I don't know what's going on after that. And we don't plan more than about a month out, but with the state convention coming up, that's where our main focus is.
Well, I hope you can come, tell your club, try to get them to
Will.
come. I've gotten calls from Snellville and 2 or 3 other clubs, and I expect money to start coming in pretty quick, but get your money in. We're gonna have a tailgate party. That's all set up and ready to go. We'll have, probably do some cooking of some brats and hot dogs and chips and soda. So that doesn't cost you nothing.
Okay.
So come on to the game and let your people know, because the people that have come in years past have had a great time. It's much easier to get to than the Braves game over in Mayetta.
And if, and even if you can't make it, we accept donated, bought tickets that we can donate to organizations in the community. So, you know,
And it's replica jersey night.
absolutely. And $5, the tickets are $15 and $5 will go to the camp. If every club in the state of Georgia bought a ticket to be donated, the camp would get $2,000, I believe.
Nice.
That sounds like a lot, but if we had 20 or 30 people coming and the clubs that come have, and everybody sends their money to the camp, could get $300, $400, $500 if, if everybody, I'm working on getting some from L. They're pretty close to us over here in so we'll see what we can do.
Yeah, and then anything's great.
All right, does that complete your report, Pete?
That's it.
Yeah, okay. Lions on.
One other thing.
Yes,
We're gonna have somebody singing God Bless America in the 7th inning.
awesome.
She did such a wonderful job last year. We're gonna bring her back for an encore.
Wonderful. Lion Tom, do you have anything to report, from the golf tournament?
Nothing new to report right now.
All right, thank you very much. We can move along quickly. Legos, for the state convention project, Lion Catherine.
Yes, sir. Total money committed to the project is approximately $390. I'm rounding it up to 400. As of today, Pete has in his possession six Lego sets that will be going to the state convention, and I shipped 8 sets via Amazon to the project chair. I reached out to her because it's very hard to find the kits that we wanted to purchase locally. They're not in the stores, or you find onesie twosies. So I contacted her and asked, was there any way we could start shipping them and save Pete the hassle of loading them all up in his car. So 8 sets are already on their way down. I'm continuing the hunt online. So the goal is to buy at least another 6 sets. So 6 to 8 sets. So that'll put his cloak, but is it 60? Do math. 16 plus, 16 plus 6 is what, 22? Yeah, so over 20 sets will go to the Joshua project this year.
Wonderful.
Good job.
Fantastic. I'm very happy. I'm very happy that we're a part of that. I'm very happy to have been a part of it myself. It's a wonderful thing. Thank you for thank you for coming by to get my contribution.
I had fun spending it today. Thank you very much.
Shopping is fun, or hopefully it can be.
Lions, where shopping's a pleasure.
All right, next up, long-range planning. Sometime in the next week, whether it be physically or in a conference stall, I'd like to knock out the having a meeting for long-range planning, if that is possible, so that we can get this past us, if that's possible.
I believe it is.
All right. Want me to get in touch with you tomorrow?
Yeah,
Catherine?
tomorrow's a good day. Like I said, I'm out Friday, but I'll be around tomorrow and Thursday.
Excellent. All right, so moving along quickly.
Bless you.
Lion Catherine, you brought to our attention the book club distribution.
Yes, everyone in the club should have received the link to sign up for that event. I know Lion Pete signed up for a couple of days. They still need people. What their goal is to have 15 volunteers for each shift for each school. So there's 3 different days. They're going to an elementary school each of these days, and they're looking for volunteers to basically help the children go through and pick out the books they want. So if you're not interested in working with the kids, there are 3 setup days. I believe the first day is already full, but they need a handful of people to help set up the tables and help display the books and things like that. So first event, I believe, is May the 6th. And then they will have 2 subsequent days, and they're all local Lawrenceville elementary schools that they'll be visiting. So if you didn't get the email or want me to resend it, just let me know.
Thank you very much, Lion Catherine. Appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
On May 7th, the district is having its annual district picnic from 10 a.m. to 1:30 at the park in Norcross. They're going to have hot dogs and hamburgers, and people bring your own dish to pass. Just putting it out there, in case anybody wants to go. That's the weekend before the state convention. But just,
Weekend
that's
after next.
huh?
Yeah,
Weekend after next.
Mother's Day weekend.
Yeah, yes, it is. So, that crossed my desk earlier in the week. Lion Tom.
Yes, sir.
I understand that you have been in recent contact with Lion Lisa lately, as far as what's going on with the Leo Club.
I have just what you've seen,
Okay.
I think. You've seen it, right?
Picnic
I got an
information.
email today about the 10th anniversary.
The Leo Club's evidently doing stuff. I mean, they have
Yes.
toothpaste. Did you get the toothbrush thing?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they couldn't deliver the stuff to the, what was it, Alpharetta that was doing the collections, but
Yeah.
they've been collecting toiletries and.
But anyway, I can't add to that. Sorry.
Okay. All right, very good. Moving on, on May the 24th, which is the day after Memorial Day, which happens to be a meeting day of ours, I received an email earlier this afternoon. Our international president is coming to Atlanta, more specifically to visit the Georgia Lions Lighthouse in Chamblee. And I thought I'd bring that to your attention.
This can't be the day after Memorial Day.
Yes, I thought.
The day after Memorial Day would be, if going by your,
Oh, that's right, that's right.
it's the
You're right.
following weekend.
Thank you, thank you very much.
The Tuesday before.
Yeah, the Tuesday before Memorial Day.
There you go. Okay.
Whoopsies.
I'm sorry.
I got my. Boss.
That information came into me this morning. I had a little bit of time. I printed out some of the information on it. If y'all don't know, it's going to be held, you're talking about the international president?
Yes,
We'll be here on the 24th. He'll be here at 2 sessions down at the Lighthouse on that day.
Right.
And those of you that have never been down to the Lighthouse to take a tour, they'll give you a tour down there and you get to see the optical department and many other things that go on down there. And you get to see where our money is spent down there. So I encourage you on the 24th to go down there and get a chance to meet the international president of our great organization.
I have a question, Lion Tom. Do we have a speaker that night?
On that Tuesday?
Yes.
We do not. I don't believe. I'll double check.
Is there, I mean, I guess I was wondering, if you know, if we wanted to count that as a meeting or something, I don't know.
Do we know if attendance at the dinner is like only those that are at the work, the work session? Are those the only ones that are going to be going to the dinner? Or is it, can we, like I said, those that can't maybe make the 1 o'clock, but make the dinner?
Right. Or the other way around.
Or the other way around?
Yeah, it's open to whoever can come, and the dinner's $20, yeah.
And do we know, is only our district been invited to this, or is word going to get out that he's coming and it's going to be crazy?
It's directed at our district, but I'm pretty sure that, considering how close it is, other people will probably be in from around this. I'm just guessing.
Sure. Well, it'd be nice for him to have, a good turnout and
Absolutely.
meet the international president.
The other thing is, Pete, Pete, you sent a message about Vidalia onions?
What?
You sent a message via Tom about Vidalia onions.
Yeah, and I'm going down, I think Brian's going too, but, I've got 5 bags of 10-pound Vidalias. They're selling them for $10 a piece, which is about what we used to sell them for. But, if you want some, they're doing this to help offset the cost of the convention. So if you would like to order some Vidalia onions, they're only selling them in 10 pounds. I don't know if that means it's a medium or pee-wee or jumbo, but they're selling 10 pounds for $10, which I think is a good price. If you want some, get me the money and I will put in the order, but I gotta have it in by Thursday, and let her know so I can email her down there. And, then we got a little bit of time, so you can get me the $10 per bag. Maria's gonna get 2 bags. I got, lady downtown. I'm sure that Catherine knows her.
Linda Alexander.
Linda Campbell. You know Linda Campbell? She's had a real estate agency down there. Anyway, she asked me if I knew anybody selling onions this year. And I told her, yeah, we're selling them through the Lions Club down there. I asked if you want, if you want me to pick her up a couple of bags, I would. So she gave me $20. I'm going to get her 2 bags, Maria 2 bags, 1 bag for me. So that's 50 pounds of onions. So if anybody wants some, let me know ASAP, because I got to let her know. Okay. So maybe some of you want to get a 10 pounds and split them with somebody else. That's fine. Give away. I don't care. But I'm just trying to help the club down there and support the district down there. Brian, if you don't mind, I want to share this with people. I have been in contact, or somebody contacted me. It's a lady named, you want 2 bags? 1. So I owe you 10.
You're good.
All right, good. Christy Benefield, she works for the GBC Bank down by the Walmart down there. And they're evidently kind of new coming over to Lawrenceville. But they have started or joined the Lawrenceville Business Alliance Directory. Catherine, you may know some of those people. And they are looking, this lady contacted me because she got my name from somebody else, and which is usually the way things work around here. But they're looking for people. You look on here and you'll see some people, again, that you may know, and some of the organizations, Brian, you probably know PK Martin.
Yes.
He's a member of this through his insurance agency.
Uh-huh.
There's other people down here. I know some of them, Tom Baylog from the Lawrenceville Co-op, Linda Campbell. There's several people down here. It's a downtown business association, and they're, what they have set out to do, they're a nonprofit. They want to be able to help people within the community, groups, whatever. And she contacted me because she got my name from somebody. I don't know who it was, maybe Linda Campbell. But they're looking for people to join their organization. And so I asked her to send me some information, and basically, first employee for a basic membership is $60. That's for a year. First employee for a nonprofit is $30. Second employee for a basic membership would be like a business, $30. So the people in a business going to pay a little bit more to get their organization than nonprofits do. Second employee for nonprofit membership is $15. So they'd like to have at least 2 people in there from any one group. We would be a nonprofit, and we could have 2 people down there as members. And so it costs us $45 a year. All right. I'm looking at that as a good thing, because the more nonprofits that we have that are working within our community, the more work or word we can get out within our community, that would help increase our membership here in the Lawrenceville Lions Club. So our name got out there, and this lady, as I mentioned, her name is Christy Benefield, and she is very much interested in joining our club. And basically, the other thing that they do, I think they're at a meeting tonight. It's down at the co-op, but they'd like to move around to different organizations hold their meetings. So, you know, if we could get a couple of members here to join, then at one point, they would be coming here to one of our meetings, and I guess we would join in. I got to get a little bit more information on that. Would they hold the meeting here for their organization, or would they come and sit in our meeting? I'm not quite sure how that goes.
Pete, would you get some more information, so that, would you get some more information so you could, make to present this at the board meeting in May, please?
I will give you and get you the information. They don't have a real flyer. If she did send me some information, I will email that to you, Brian, Tom, Catherine, Bill, and whoever else wants to read it. But I think it would be imperative, from what I'm understanding, imperative for us to become a member of theirs. That makes us a bigger group, city and county wide. And I think we can help more people, because if somebody came to them and say, we need a pair of glasses, they can come to us for that. So it's going to work all the way around.
Yeah, thank you very much, Pete. I look forward to the information, and we'll discuss it at the board meeting. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
All right, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, it carries, and we are adjourned.
Thank you, sir.
One thing I did forget to mention, the Georgia Lions Camp is running a raffle for 2 cruise tickets this year. So the drawing will be at the state convention. It's $10 a ticket,
Thank you.
and the trip has to be made within the next year. So there's no rush. It's not a fixed date ticket. It's just you schedule it within the next year.
It's Carnival, right?
I have not heard. I think it
Okay.
is, but I haven't heard definitively that it is or not.
Didn't they do that last year?
They did it 3 years ago.
You got 2 tens?
Not down.
So if
Anybody got
anyone's
2
interested,
tens? Got 2 tens?
I've got tickets available.
Okay.
Thanks, Sean.
Sure. I appreciate you having me. Sorry I didn't
Pete,
show up on
you
time,
need 2. Pete,
but I was close.
I got 2 tens.
You're a good man. I don't care what Tom says about it.
All right.
Thank you.
If any of you are golf players, we're having our golf tournament social circle in 2 weeks. Yeah.
Yeah, I only got 120 for you, okay?
Oh, okay. That's second time.
That's pretty slick, Ted.
Hey, you're making out. You need to be the treasurer.
I said- He just automatically took it. I was going, wow.
I thought Tom was just passing it over.
Gentlemen, I hate to do this to you, but since we didn't get any volunteers, we will need to put all the glasses back in my car. So y'all can help me with that. That'd be great.
Just a couple boxes.
Yeah, so much.